Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com. I got 5 new monsters for you. Well, actually, two of them are kind of reissues, and the other 3 are certainly very new. When I released the monsters earlier this year, I never did orange, and I didn't do orange, excuse me. And a lot of people said, "Why didn't you do orange?" And I was like, I don't know. I just didn't want to. So I did orange this time, 2 other pretty cool colors, and then 2 existing models got a little bit of a refresh that I think you're going to fully enjoy. When you're watching this, the watches are available for purchase now, but I've been showing them on my Instagram channel, so definitely follow me at Islander Watch on Instagram for all the Islander content, and of course follow at Long Island Watch for generic store content. Should I do my wrist check? And a lot of people waiting for these. Salamander. I think end of October these should hit, beginning of November, somewhere around there. And then a throwback piece, Irony and Soul, Swatch Irony and Soul, or Body and Soul Irony. My original skeleton watch, one that really kind of piqued a lot of my interest in the internal mechanics of mechanical watches. Anyway, let's check out the monsters. So here we go, folks. 5 new monsters. 2 of them are kind of redos, repeats, a little bit of a change. I'm keeping the model numbers the same on these, ISL 56 and 58, even though I changed the design a little bit. And then the 4 new ones, or the 3 new ones, excuse me, are 94, 95, and 96. Purple, orange, and seafoam green. Might not be in that order, but they're all really cool and really interesting, and definitely a take on something very different. I guess, let's cover the 2 existing guys first, and then we'll go on from there. I'll do the twisty turny on this guy since he's in Islander colors, and I kind of dig that. So brief overview of the specs. We're looking at 42 millimeters in diameter, 13 thick to a double dome, sapphire crystal with AR on the inside, 47 millimeters lug tip to lug tip, drilled lug holes for easy strap changes. 20 millimeter lug width. It is a very monster bracelet, but we use screws now instead of pins and collars for easier sizing. Well, our older monster used screws also. Flip lock deployant, double push button, 3 positions of micro adjust, solid links, solid end links. Still the old case back, the new case back probably going to come along sometime next year. Signed crown. The prior version of the monsters, which now I think all of them are gone and sold out. Some people did have grumblings about the bezel action. The bezel action has been fixed. Some of them turned too easily. Not all of them, some of them. That's been fixed. So as you can see, these are just random picks that I made. It turns very well. 120 click unidirectional ratcheting bezel. They're all 200 meters of water resistance. So what's the change on this guy? Well, the old ISL 56, it was my personal one, had a fully black bezel. All I've done is I've just kind of gone blue from the 0 to 15 mark, and it just kind of pulls in a little more of the blue. I thought it was a little more interesting. Again, I'm into the whole white and blue motif. Oh, price. This guy is $279. They're all $279 except for the Lume dial, but they all weigh 198 grams. Date, NH36, hand winds, hacks, 40 hours, roughly 40 hours of power reserve, screw down crown, wind, set the time, and date. Doink. Push down and turn for your full 200 meters of water resistance. So ISL 56. Let's get into the 58. So I did the Lume monster before. So I redid it, but this time I said, you know what? Give me a fully black DLC bezel. And to me, so this guy's $299 because of the DLC and the full Lume dial. To me, this just makes all the difference in the watch, and it sets off the Lume. The dark with the light, I think this is actually, I like this better than the orange one. I think this guy is really going to take off. I think this is going to be a popular one. I did not loom the crown. I still haven't done that in my watches. I'm a little, actually, still was a little hesitant to do it. I feel like it's a wear surface, and it's going to break out, but everyone tells me it won't. Still a little nervous about it. But this is the new ISL 58. Again, so the 56 and 58 retained their original part numbers. I feel like it wasn't enough of a change to really change the part number. You know, form, fit, function, identical. So to me, you keep the part number. Let's go on to the other three. So yeah, I did it. I went ahead and I did the orange. So this is your, more of a Gen 1 style like all of them. Black hands, black writing, black pads under the loom to make it pop a little bit better. I did go through, Ryan and I went through a bunch of different oranges. This is the orange we finally decided on. It's really nice, it's deep, it's beautiful, it's not sunburst, it's flat as you can see as I twist it around. But I think it's a worthy homage to the original. So the original monsters, orange monsters, were SKX 779 was black dial, 781 was orange dial. And then we went to Gen 2 was SRP 307 was black dial, right? And 309 was orange dial. So this, we look like a Gen 1 footprint, but then we've got hand winding and hacking with an NH36 inside. Let's move on to another new entry. Again, this was another one of Ryan's choices. This is a Seafoam Green. I love it. It's very beautiful. Very light color, reminds me of a day on the beach. Went with white hands on the Seafoam Green dial to kind of make it a little more light feeling, if you will. And then black print on the dial for legibility, of course. And then white pads under the loom keeps the whole thing together. And then, loom on the bezel. Obviously the full loom monster, and we'll get into that later. This is a loomed bezel too. But only those two, the full loom and the Seafoam Green, have loom paint on the bezel. Again, it just kind of, the whole lighter color thing, it just works. It fits together. Here it is. Ta-da! Let's get into the last one, which is definitely the most interesting of the bunch. This one, I gave Ryan the crayon bin, and he went wild. It's kind of tough to make it show very well. There we go. So this is kind of in Gravedigger colors, right? So it's a purple dial, neon green writing, and then a neon green seconds hand. You have a black hour and minute hand. And the whole thing certainly pops. Black writing on the bezel. Let's come in a little bit more. We get a little bit of reflection there. You can see the whole thing. You're a Monster Truck fan or something. This is probably a piece that would be on your radar. I love how all the different colors play with each other. It really looks amazing. Definitely not a color you're going to see on a lot of watches out there, for sure. So that's all of them. Let's do loom. So for loom, I guess to show all of them, I'll do this. Okay, I'm going to show you loom bezel, non-loom bezel, and the full loom guy. Here we go in sequence. Loom bezel version, this is the Seafoam Green one. Non-loom bezel, this is the purple, but you'd get the same effect from the orange and the white dial versions. Very obviously, C3 Super Loom glows extremely well. And the crazy guy, the loom monster, of course, it looks phenomenal. With the loom bezel, the loom dial, and the blacked out hands done in negative. Everything about this just simply works wonderfully. You might see a shadow over here pointing at 35. That's just when I blasted it with UV for the shot. But you normally would not see that. This is beautiful. So for a wrist shot, it's really just simpler for me to just show you my own ISL 56 that I own, because they're all going to fit the same, above the bone, below the bone. On my 6 3/4 inch wrist at the 47, and the way the lugs hang down, or the end lugs of the bracelet, it fits me perfectly. There's plenty of room on these bracelets to go really high on the wrist scale. And as you know, if you get it and you happen to need a link or two, we can always provide them. But I will tell you, sold 500 of the other monsters in a few months' time or so, and I don't think more than like 1 or 2 person needed links. So the bracelets on these are really super long. And that'll wrap it up. This has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com showing you the 5 new monsters to hit the store. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so. Questions or comments, everybody's coming in, put them down below, and I'll be sure to address them as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.